So, Karel has a background in computer science and is a leading technologist in the cybersecurity space. You joined Evolution Equity Partners in 2012, the largest fund in the world in the cyber sphere. You have over 40 million assets under management, and you lead investments in cybersecurity, enterprise software, of course, and data analytics. You bring a lot of experience, decades of knowledge about investment, operational, and entrepreneurial experience. And before you joined Evolution, you were chief scientist, CTO, and interim CEO, so you wear a lot of hats at AVG Technologies, where you were the architect of the technology platform that today has over 400 million users. So, what initially sparked your interest in cybersecurity and keeps you passionate 2 decades later?
Now it works. First of all, thanks a lot for having me here in wonderful Texelania in Cluj. It's been 8 years since I was last here, so great to be here again. And getting back to Evolution Equity or cybersecurity in the first place. So I was, actually, my background is computer science. I did a lot in database systems, lots of research, and then I joined a company called AVG Technologies, which was a cybersecurity startup coming from Central Europe. Back then, there were quite a few cybersecurity startups, actually. Or cybersecurity companies. That was after GCAD was acquired by Microsoft. That was when AVG, Avast, ESET, Bitdefender were all competing for customers, each of them in different business segments. And it was just great fun to be in cybersecurity and trying to protect more and more users. So that's how we started, and that's how we ended up at New York Stock Exchange as one of the unicorns.
What keeps you interested about cybersecurity? So first, who's in cybersecurity here in the audience? Because you keep changing, so I have to keep asking. Raise your hand, don't be shy. Please be open and ask questions. We will allow a few minutes at the end, right? So as someone who has held various leadership roles, how would you describe your leadership philosophy, particularly in driving innovation in cybersecurity? So in a way, what do you appreciate about cybersecurity?
I think it's not just cybersecurity, but first of all, cybersecurity, for me, it's a very attractive segment. We're an investor, the largest cybersecurity investor, as you mentioned, over $2 billion assets under management. Now the largest cybersecurity-focused fund globally, over $1 billion. We invest in cybersecurity companies in both North America, in Europe, in Israel, mostly at a later stage. And we succeeded in just closing a fund over $1 billion, even in this very challenging economical environment, simply because cybersecurity is an important topic. It is a segment that attracts many investors. Many people realize that it's important to protect our core values, our data, our private lives, protect critical infrastructure, protect things that matter the most to us. So that's what is still interesting, and it's evolving. Always evolving. There is always something new to cope with. For me, being investor in cybersecurity means I have opportunity to meet lots of smart people in a segment that I at least pretend to still understand a little bit. I can speak the same language, so to speak, with founders, technical founders, and I can discuss very interesting ideas, innovative ideas, innovation. I see the passion in their eyes when they're trying to build something really big.
Can you see the passion in their eyes?
and yesterday I met a few guys from cybersecurity segment as well. I mean, absolutely. At the same time, I see lots of great entrepreneurs or founders, technology founders with great tech skills, who are coming from the Central Eastern Europe region that have not yet made it globally, and I'm trying to incentivize them or push them, motivate them to actually build global businesses. I mean, there was UiPath, or there is Bitdefender, but there can be more businesses coming from this part of the world that can be successful globally. So, I mean, connecting this motivating people to actually build something big and show the world that we can build something coming from Europe. or Central Eastern Europe, as I originally come from the Czech Republic, from Czechia. So I think we can show the world that there is a huge opportunity also for investors, but primarily for entrepreneurs to actually build something that can be global and then can also help protecting us.
Thank you. I want to dive a little bit more into your role, into this hat of investor, and discover your modus operandi. So this is more like a personal question. We put aside to the tech and we bring the human. So what pivotal moments or decisions in your career shaped your journey and led you to your current role at Evolution?
Yeah, that's a good one, because I always joke that I've joined the dark side of the force when I left AVG as a operator and joined the investor side. So that's the dark side. For many technology founders, for many technical people, investors are the bad guys, because they kind of come, buy part of the company, and then they continue pushing them harder and harder and harder to work more. So what I enjoyed the most when I was deciding whether to invest or what to do, there were several aspects. I still wanted to be relevant in the segment that I understood, which was cybersecurity. Still wanted to be kind of in contact. I was looking at a few startups, and at the same time, I thought, look, I can give back to a certain extent. I can actually motivate people and explain to them that there is lots of opportunity. So by explaining to those people at very early stage, I was able to actually motivate quite a few people to build something bigger. And so I did a few angel investments, which is still something that I'm very passionate about, supporting the angel community. Actually, there is lack of angels, business angels here in Central Eastern Europe, and there are a few programs also supported by the European Union, by the way. There is ESIL program now working with people like Malin from Tech Angels, Romania, and others, who are supporting the business angels who should incentivize or motivate the founders at the very early stage to launch something, to do something better, and to think big, really not be complacent with, I don't know, 2 million euro revenue or 5 million euro revenue. It's good, but it can be better. If it can be better, why not aim higher? So that's when I started thinking about how do I actually help the community. I started investing, I started supporting business angel community, and then I was approached by a couple of colleagues whom I met while at AVG, and they told me, hey, maybe you can become independent board member for a few investments in cybersecurity. And then it evolved, and I joined them as a partner in a fund that eventually became much bigger, but still investing also in early stage cybersecurity startups.
What do you look for when you're discovering a new startup or trying to invest? You mentioned at a later stage, so we're not looking at early stage where it's usually about the team. So later stage, it's about numbers, it's about solution, it's about solving a real challenge. So what do you look for, and how do you support later stage startups besides funding?
So I think the most important is the team, people in the business. And everybody says that, everybody says so, and they do because it's true. I mean, that's the most important. You can have the best possible technology if you do not have the team, passionate team that have ambitions to become global, then it's not worth investing. It might be a great family business. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still perfectly fine. But if we are looking as investors, if we're looking at a potential investment, we are actually obligated as investors to return the invested money. I mean, other investors gave us money to invest into businesses, and we are, I mean, that's our fiduciary obligation to actually multiply that invested money and return to our investors. So we're not looking for companies as investments. We're not looking for companies that would last for, or that would continue building steadily kind of for the next 15, 20 years their local business in services. We're looking for companies that can scale and go big, really scale it massively, such as UiPath, such as Bitdefender, and similar. And that means the team has to be very passionate about what they want to achieve, and they have to also understand what does it mean to grow the team. It's not 2, 3, 5 people anymore. It's all of a sudden 20, 50, 100 people. It's hiring new people. It's letting some people go. That's very challenging. And to see that capability in the founder or founders, that's what actually makes very often the key decision, or that's the key decision points, whether those people can actually make it, whether we can imagine that we can work with those people and they would build something really big. They would have the ambition and willingness to step, again, a cliche, step outside of their comfort zone. But indeed, it is very often stepping outside of your comfort zone, relocating, launching a business in the US, in the UK, wherever, and just pushing hard.
Yeah. Team are important in early stage and later stages. I know there was like this label of the first are like the pirates, the builders, and then you need the new team, the growers in a way, the right people at the right time. So I want to follow up. What are the critical factors that you believe will contribute to the rise of the next cybersecurity unicorns, to tap into the title of our discussion today in Europe? So we have the Ukraine war, we have EU regulations like GDPR or the NIS director, the cloud. Tell us, choose one or even all of them. Tell us something about what do you think?
I think it's ever evolving. So very interesting segments for us investors, for our investors, and especially for founders, technology founders who have lots of opportunities what to do, how they can approach it. And I just read this morning, I read a speech or publication from NSA where a senior official was trying to explain that it all starts about individuals who are actually taking care of their security, their private data, just the basic hygiene on working on a computer, etc. So it all starts with products that can help general public stay safe and secure, like not what not to do, how not to use your data, your passwords, your access to your banking information, your sensitive data, critical data, and similar. That's where it starts, and then it moves further up. I mean, there has been lots of discussions about regulations coming from European level on that will be instilled on individual countries within the EU on regulations on cybersecurity. That's going to be implemented in Romania as well, but it's not just Romania, other countries as well. How do we help small businesses that do not have specialized personnel, IT, admin staff, and similar? How do we help them stay secure? How do we help them secure their assets? I mean, whether it's a small lawyer office or doctor's office or a small business in production, how do we make sure that they do not lose money, they do not lose access to their systems? That's another critical part. How do we help those people? And then we move up the scale. Enterprises, large enterprises, how to secure their data so that they're not encrypted by ransomware or they're not stolen by competitors and similar. How do we make sure that the attackers do not attack our networks to extract the money and valuable information? And then it moves to critical infrastructure. So how to secure infrastructure that is protecting lives, hospitals, energy networks, and similar. And for that, then, I mean, cybersecurity, some people consider it a vertical, like a very small, narrow area, but we see it as a horizontal. Cybersecurity is pretty much everywhere. So how do we secure other aspects of our lives? How do we secure other aspects of our businesses? How do we use other technologies in cybersecurity? There is a lot of, I mean, AI is now used as a buzzword, but there is lots of discussion about how to use AI to improve cybersecurity, and lots of businesses have been doing that. But if you look at it from a different perspective, now we are introducing AI in many aspects of our worlds. How do we actually make the AI secure itself? How do we make sure that the AI does not get attacked, does not get manipulated? How do we make sure that new data models are still the same or as valid and legitimate as they were when they were designed? So all these areas are, in my view, opportunities for new products, new technologies. And maybe just one caveat here. When I speak about products, I always want to emphasize that product does not equal to technology only. You might have a great technology, you might finalize something that can be deployed, but it becomes product only when there are customers who actually want to use it and are willing to pay for it somehow. So it's not only about the technology, it's also about who is my customer, who is willing to pay for it, who is going to buy this, understanding the market. Only then it becomes a product, when I see that somebody is actually buying it. And that's a very important aspect that many people underestimate.
So what do you think, how do you view this integration of emerging trends in cybersecurity? You mentioned artificial intelligence, ML. What do you really believe are the potential benefits and even risks?
You mean benefits of using the new emerging trends?
Yeah.
There are so many new attacks, and I mean it's kind of in cybersecurity, it's cat and mouse game, has always been. The attackers are very often a step ahead and coming up with new attacks, new ways of either manipulating data, like, I mean, now with the use of artificial intelligence, they're creating deep fakes and more advanced techniques to attack systems. And it's always kind of catching up or making sure that the technologies are not misused somehow. So only recently I just read about the way how Ukrainians are fighting Russian drones with FPV drones, so small swarms of drones that can actually attack the observation drones. And again, using new techniques, new technologies, implementing them. That's I mean, it's defense. It's not cybersecurity, but still, applying new technologies, new techniques, new innovative approaches to what you can do. And I think I mentioned AI in the use of cybersecurity. Also, I mean, big data analytics, as it used to be, new, faster technologies in terms of physical technology, like faster processors and similar. But it does not have to be only about new technology that is being used. It can also be new innovative models in business. So we at AVG actually, we came up with what was later called freemium, but we started giving away our antivirus for free. And back in '98, when we started doing that, nobody understood why we were doing it. And when new investors came in, they always asked us, okay, so when do you convert all those free users into paying users? And we were telling them, no, we're not going to do that. We have a paying user base and the free user base, and the free user base is actually helping us tremendously, and it's a way of marketing and then spreading the user base, establishing our user base. And that was, I mean, while AVG as an antivirus product was, I would say, yeah, AVG, good enough, like average. But I mean, I still believe as a CTO that it was really good, but there were other products that were equally good or even better in terms of technology. But it was the business model that was actually very innovative. So you do not only have to come with innovation in specific technology aspect. You can come up with innovation in how you sell the product, how you offer it, how you actually serve the user's needs. It eventually evolved in business models, premium business models that Google uses, Facebook uses, and others. But I mean, there are many, many other aspects where you can come up with innovation, and it does not necessarily have to be only science or technology, new programming language or new code that you develop. It can be, but does not have to limit to that. You should be very open, I mean, eyes wide open and looking at new things.
The secret, prior to this conversation, we had a fireside about sales, and it was all about like different departments collaborating to actually innovate. So I want to open the floor to the rest of you. Do you want to ask a question? Please raise your hand so we can see you, so we can bring the mic. Questions? I will take it then. What are the opportunities for somebody thinking of launching a cybersecurity startup now? And do you want to tap maybe into a challenge that they should be focusing on tackling? A challenge, so startup, what should they be focusing on if they were to launch now?
If they were to launch now, at this moment, I think the biggest challenge is really finding the right product market fit. So understanding who are my customers, who am I selling to, and understanding who are the competitors. Very often what I hear from early stage startups is that they have no competition. And that's simply impossible. There may be, or not impossible, but very unlikely. There may not be any direct competition in exactly that technology, but it's the use case that I'm addressing, that I'm trying to solve for my customers. And there might be, I mean, it could be as simple as my competition at this moment is paper and pen, because somebody is using paper and pen and writing notes. This could be the current competition that I'm facing. But I mean, I'm trying to understand what is the use case that I'm trying to solve, and that's very important. So that's I think the most important challenge that many startups have. Then here in Central Eastern Europe, very often it's also access to capital. Now it's improving significantly. I mean, the speakers before me were explaining the EIC initiative, initiatives about business angels. So finding the right business angel or early stage investor is important. And I think it's important also to learn. So getting access to as much information about investing, what does it mean? Not just about my field of expertise, but also about what does it mean to get a business angel on board, what does it mean to talk to VCs, to investors, so that my presentation to them is the best possible, but also that I understand what is their motivation, what should I expect, what I should not expect from them, so that I'm aligned when I'm looking for money from investors. Aligning my expectations with their expectations is very important, and that's something that is also very often underestimated. Once you get past this initial hurdle, I think it's getting much easier, because it's only about scaling and inverted commas, because that's where very often many startups fail, unfortunately. But then it's about the team, so finding the right people and scaling up.
Thank you. We saw earlier some cyber techs here. Any challenges that you have right now that you need maybe creative solutions to? No? Okay, fine. My final question then, I always want to ask investors this, is like, what's your favorite slide in a pitch? When startups, founders pitch to you, what's your favorite slide in the pitch?
It depends whether it's favorite, like when what I want to actually see, or favorite when I'm like rolling my eyes, and that's not what I want to see. So what I want to see is the team, product and team. So very often that's critical. I want to see who is the team, who is behind the product. And the one where I'm kind of rolling my eyes is typically when I see typically a hockey stick with revenues without actually making clear who the customer is and without the product. So that's very often a mistake.
Thank you. Valuable insights. Thank you so much. And that's a wrap for today.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.